I put on a jacket for you guys. That's how good I'm feeling about the picks. I'm Pete Mundo, Heartland College Sports. We cover the Big 12. And no, that's not why I have the jacket on. I had an event this evening. I said, you know what? I feel pretty good in it. I'm just going to leave it on. But I am pretty confident in my week 3 Big 12 football picks against the spread. So let me get right to it and give those to you here. In case you're new to the show, here's how we do it. We give you a lock of the week. I give you an underdog of the week, and I give you a bad bet of the week. That means I'm on the other side of that pick. We all good? We're clear? I went 2-1 last week. Cincinnati screwed me so bad. I had a minus whatever it was against Pittsburgh, and it looked like a lock. And then Cincinnati forgot how to play football. So that was my miss last week. I also hit Iowa State over the 36.5. So that one went very well. And my underdog was Houston plus 29. So that one covered with plenty of ease against Oklahoma. So I'm 3-3 on the season. If you're new, by the way, subscribe. We got great Big 12 college football content here at Heartland College Sports. We appreciate you joining us. So I will start with, I never like to start with my lock. So let me start with let's start with the underdog. How about that? All right, my underdog of the week is Tulsa plus 19 against Oklahoma State. So there's a lot of reasons I like Tulsa plus the points in this game. I look at Tulsa and I say to myself, well, here's a Tulsa team that this is their Super Bowl. This is their only Power 4 game. This is it. Oklahoma State is in a weird spot where it's not a trap game because of how they played last week against Arkansas. They can't really have any game be a trap game right now, but it's sandwiched between Arkansas last week and then Utah next week and Kansas State the week after that. So this is the kind of game that Mike Gundy wins ugly, doesn't care about the score. It's like 24-13 or something. He gets out of there with a win and he moves on the next week. That's what this kind of a game has written all over it to me. On top of that, no Colin Oliver for Oklahoma State, their star pass rusher, first team all Big 12 guy. He's out for the season, and that happened, of course, last week against Arkansas as well. I think Ollie Gordon's going to get his carries, but wouldn't be shocked if they're up comfortably in the second half. Ollie Gordon maybe gets to pull it back a little bit with games against Utah and Kansas State coming up, and those games really are going to decide potentially the Big 12 standings for the rest of the season. So this is one of those ugly, get out of Dodge with a win if you're Mike Gundy kind of games. And the other part of this is that, you look at the numbers here. Tulsa is 2-1 against the spread against Oklahoma State in their last 3 meetings. And overall, they've been pretty good. They're 5-5 in their last 10 games against the spread. Tulsa against Oklahoma State. So I look at that game and I say to myself, you know what? I'm going to ride with Tulsa. I'm going to take the points. And if you can get 19 with Tulsa in this game, try to get yourself the 19. Now for my bad bet of the week. My bad bet of the week is going to be Miami of Ohio plus 3. I've seen the number now all the way up to 4 in some places. That jumped on Thursday. I would still be okay with it. But basically what that means, my bad bet is Miami of Ohio plus 3. That means I'm on Cincinnati on the other side. The bad bet's Miami, Ohio. Take Cincinnati. Now, some of you might be like, wait, Pete, you just got screwed by Cincinnati last week. I did get screwed by Cincinnati. That is very much true. But I'm willing to give them another shot because they were dominating that game. Dominating it against Pittsburgh last week. And then they crapped themselves. Well, guess what? I'm of the belief that they're going to turn this thing around. And they have to. Scott Satterfield cannot lose to Miami of Ohio after the loss last week and the way they lost to Pittsburgh being up by 21 points. They just can't possibly deal with a loss like that. He can't afford it. I mean, literally, he'd be in the hot seat if he loses that game this week. And Miami of Ohio has the only thing they've got going for them is they've got a bye week in the rearview mirror. They played Northwestern in week 1. They were off. Now they've got Cincinnati, but they also could be caught looking ahead because they're playing Notre Dame next week. So give me Cincinnati minus the points, meaning Miami of Ohio is my bad bet of the week in the Big 12. And now I will give you my lock of the week. All right, you ready for the lock of the week? Oh, let me give you one more tidbit, if I may, on Miami of Ohio and Cincinnati. 66% of the wagers are coming in. The tickets are coming in on Miami of Ohio. So John Q. Public is betting Miami of Ohio. But the line opened up at Cincinnati minus 2.5. It's now 3.5, or 4. So that means the heavy money, the big money, is coming in on Cincinnati, pushing that line down in favor of the Bearcats. All right. So that's the other reason I'm on Cincinnati in that game. Last but not least, and this is dicey, but I'm going to do it because I just genuinely think that they are the better team. West Virginia minus, I've seen it anywhere from a point to a point and a half. I got it at a point. So basically, it's a pick'em game. West Virginia -1 at Pittsburgh. I know it's a rivalry game, but the Mountaineers had their big Penn State game 2 weeks ago. They came back down to earth. They took care of business against Albany, and now all their focus is on Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh had this miraculous comeback at Cincinnati last week, so they're riding high. They're a little emotional probably going back to town, and now they've got to come back down and get ready for the backyard brawl. That's an emotional roller coaster of a week for Pittsburgh because of how that game ended against Cincinnati. Meantime, West Virginia has been kind of in this spot now the last couple of weeks where they've calmed down. They've come off that Penn State game. Neil Brown has his guys refocused. And don't forget, Pittsburgh is still down its best running back. We all forget about this because the news came down like the Friday night of week 1, but they don't have their best running back. So West Virginia, to me, is the better team. I know it's a rivalry game on the road, so you might look at that and say, is it dicey to pick West Virginia? But I don't think it is. I think Pittsburgh is closer to the team they were for the first 2.5 quarters against Cincinnati than they were towards the end of that game. And Neil Brown is still a guy who, listen, won 9 games last year, but he's got to keep pumping out some wins. And after this, it gets tough. Kansas, Oklahoma State, Iowa State, Kansas State, Arizona. You've got 4 games in a row after the Kansas game against teams ranked in the top 25 right now in this conference. So this is a win you got to get if you're Neil Brown. You can't mess around with this game at all. So I like the Mountaineers minus the 2 points in this game. And, I right now I'm looking at the numbers here, and 68% of the bets are on Pittsburgh. And the line opened up at West Virginia -2. It has moved to West Virginia -1.5 or 1. I got it at 1. Get it at 1. Seems like there's a lot of money that likes Pittsburgh in this game. But for all the circumstances I just laid out, I am rolling with West Virginia minus the point on the road against Pitt on Saturday. So my lock of the week is West Virginia minus the point at Pitt. My underdog of the week is Tulsa +19 against Oklahoma State. And my bad bet is Miami of Ohio +3 against Cincinnati, meaning I am on Cincinnati minus the points in that game. I'm Pete Mundo. We're Heartland College Sports. Hit that thumbs up on the video if you haven't yet. Thank you for being here. And as always, subscribe to the channel. We have had hundreds of you pour in over the last, thousands of you consuming the content, tens of thousands, but hundreds of you pouring as new subscribers. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the show. We so appreciate you doing that. We've got the best Big 12 content coming your way every single day at heartlandcollegesports.com. I'm Pete Mundo. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the games, and we'll talk to you Sunday for our Week 3 reaction show. Don't miss that. We'll talk to you then. Have a great day.